Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Rekah Kwadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elders as well, R1 Banyasha Allah of the Lion's Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Awafim, the children. I believe in truth and in sincerity. It's your brother, I thank you Allah back to another lesson in your Haratazah edifying. I want to start off in the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Right? Just the rich men of this society, all right, particularly the enemy, all right, Esau, Edom, the ambassador of the heathen, as the scriptures say, by thy wisdom they have gotten great riches, all right, not only by their wisdom, but by their rape, robbery, and murder, the touching of the apple of the Lord's eye, the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the system that they have created, which is called racism, which is a system that is designed to deprive the children of Israel from being in prosperity here on this side, all right, which we're not supposed to be in prosperity on this side, according to Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. But the scripture says, hey, go now and howl, man, weep for your miseries, because ultimately all the things that they have gained in this society, the riches, as they're trying to reach the fourth industrial revolution, all right, the technology, everything that has came into this place that has been built here has been built off of iniquity, has been built off of the backs of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Hey, the scriptures say, woe to him who buildeth, roughly paraphrasing, you buildeth a house with other men's money. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. It's going to be a witness against this damn devil. And all the other heathen nations that have aided and abetted this devil to do so have done the same thing pertaining to Psalms 83, as they took crafty counsel of cutting us off of being a nation. All right, the so-called Chinese man can come over here and sell General Toso chicken to our people. All right, the Arab can fry food and sell abominable foods like shrimp, crab, and lobster. All right, cigarillos, tobacco, poison to our people. They can come over here and do these things where our people have been over here for over 500, 600 years with nothing. So the scriptures say that these rich men, all right, these rich heathens, all right, and even 2/3 of our people who love this place and want to aid and abet it, is woe to them. Woe representing destruction, man. Verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. So all this is going to be a witness against this devil, right? When the Lord comes and he's going to find, according to Exodus 22 and 16, if you stealeth a man, and that man be found in your hand, you surely shall be put to death. All right, we're going to be found in this devil's hands, man. That's why this devil has a death sentence according to the law, the scriptures. All right. So it's verse 3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped up treasure together for the last days, right? You know, behold the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Here's the point, which is of you kept back by fraud. Right, this place is fraudulent, man. Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath oath, man. And we go into that term, Sabbath oath. It means what? Armies, troops. All right, the Lord of Sabbath oath, the Lord of armies, troops, because he has to send his army, he has to send his troops. All right, led by his only begotten son. All right, as well as the archangel Michael. He has to send that army, man, the heavenly army, the heavenly force to intervene and clean this place up. As you can see, it's Sabbath oath.
Strong's G 4519. Sabaoth. Sabaoth.
Sabaoth. All right, G4519 out in the Greek, from the Greek, Lord of Sabaoth, Lord of armies of Israel, or as those who are under the leadership and protection of Yahweh maintain his cause in war. You know, army, Sabaoth, a military of Yahweh. You know, because the Lord has to send his military, his teeth, ultimately to come and clean this place up, man. You know, to make do. But from there, I want to go to, I read verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter, you know, because they don't give a damn about the people that they destroy along the way of making that dollar, that almighty dollar. And this is the book of Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house, man, right? You know, and it's you know, some have that mindset, you know, it's better to be to live a life as a poor man, you know, or what you would consider to be a poor man in this society. All right, but he really rich, you know, through the spirit. You know, Revelations 2:9, 3:9, thou art rich. All right, we bear the promises. We bear the covenant, man, the new covenant, the blessings, the promises that have been given to our forefathers, man, that are coming into fruition to where at the end of the game, we're going to be raised up. You know, we're going to be found in Abraham's bosom, so to speak. So it's verse 22 in Sirach 29 and 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house, right? Because if that delicate fare in another man's house, you know, you begin content with man. All right. You don't want to be content with man. You can't be content with man. You know, man is man. Man is not Yahweh, you know, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. So and we only can be content with the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, you know, through the Spirit. All right. That's the only thing that we can be content with on this side. All right. You know, day to day. All right. You know, just dwelling in the Spirit. You know, you know, you can't be at rest with man. Man is vain. All right. It's vanity. All right. It's flesh. Man in the flesh is vanity as well, you know. So a cottage ultimately representing a small house or a small dwelling place of a small farmer, a small farm laborer. All right. So he's building on his own substance, so to speak, as far as like how could I put it? Like you got a mom and pop store. You know, they rather be content with the things that they can order off of the money that they make, all right, and they'll just grow from there versus uh, a big mainstream corporation or company that have an abundance of things and they can get it for cheap and they can get a lot of it, you know, and they can give a damn about the quality and stuff of that nature, you know. To where you can work blindly. You can be in this thing blindly, you know, as far as the world. You know, you can be so invested into this world and this society that you're blind, you know, to where you don't see that you're dealing with another man's fare, you know, in his house. All right. That's what two-thirds of our people are in that mindset, you know, to where when this devil goes down, they're going to go down right along with it, man. They're going to have nothing right along with them. Why? Because they haven't been building themselves up with the spiritual things, with the things that are not going to be corrupted and moth eaten. All right. Because why? It's built up in the spiritual realm, it's built up in that spiritual bank account versus the flesh and dealing with man, right? From now, I want to go to Sirach chapter 31, and I start at verse 1. Watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the care thereof driveth away sleep. Right. especially for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You got to work 10 times harder than the heathen, all right, um, than the so-called Caucasian race, Esau, Edom, and the rest of these other heathen nations, man. The Elamite, all right, the Moabite, you know, the Ammonite. You have to work 10 times harder than these other heathen nations to and you're still not going to be at rest. You got to keep going to make ends meet. Verse 2, watching care will not let a man slumber as a sore disease breaketh sleep, right? You'll be breaking sleep, all right? Having shorter days, you're going to lack rest because you got to get up and go do it all over again. While the rich man, he can sit up and kick his feet up, all right? Because he's established. It's his system. It's his kingdom. It benefits him. It don't benefit you, all right? You learn the things later on after they pretty much are done with it, when it comes to hey, you pay your bills, but they get credit for paying their bills, you know. Hey, our people don't learn about credit till they get on later on in life to where they need it, or they run into a situation where they have to rent a car or something like that, right? Verse 3, the rich have gathered labor in gathering riches together, and when he resteth, he is filled with his delicates, right? When he resteth, he's filled with his delicates, man, because this system benefits him, and he know how it operates. The poor man laboreth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy, right? Because you ain't gonna know what to do with the money properly. You don't know the back ends and the corner cutting and all the schemes to the trade. This is not your rest. It's not your system. All right. In this constitution, you written 3/5 of a man. All right. You're not included into nothing this devil is planning. All right. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith, right? It's a stumbling block. It's ultimately a trap, all right? Because it's not the end all be all, even though that's the blood of the body of this world. That's what makes this place circulate, all right? The almighty dollar, fiat currency, something that's not even real, something that's not even true. It's fraudulent. Verse 8, blessed is the rich that is found without blemish and have not gone after gold, man. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, man. You know, rich or poor, as long as your heart is good towards the Lord, man. That's what the Lord is looking for. Men who's dwelling on him, dwelling in his name, dwelling in his spirit, thinking upon the prophecies that's coming to pass, man. Hasten the new heaven and the new earth, which dwelleth righteousness. This Psalms 37 and 16. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous, right? The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied, right? Because you've been in the house of mourning this time, man. So when it comes to being in the house of mirth, you know, it was earned, so to speak. You earned it. You went through the straits, you went through that affliction. You can laugh in that day. This verse 20. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, and to smoke shall they consume away. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be made to be taken. This is the book of Job, chapter 27, verse 16. Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man, right? And you ultimately he's working towards what the Lord is gonna give us. He's ultimately just gathering it up and sectioning it off with these heathens and with these other nations to where, hey, when it's all gathered and collected, he's gonna divide it against the just, man. He's gonna cut the heathen off. They done their duty, they done their job, man. Man's goings of the Lord, according to Daniel 4:17. All right, the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, man. You know, give it to whoever so he will. He's getting ready to give it to the just, to the righteous. All right, he's just using you heathens. All right, you profane heathens and you people to put things in its proper perspective, man, where it needs to be. All right, for the just. This is Job 27:17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth a house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opened his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night, right? He go disappear. It's go be gone like a dream. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth, and as a storm hurleth him out of his place. For Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall cast upon him and not spare. He will flame feet out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place, man. Right? He's gonna be he's gonna become the spoils of war. All right, booty, the loot, right? To where people go spoil him. What you put upon, what you reap is what you sow. This Proverbs 21:8 in Yahweh Ratazad's lesson was edifying. The way of a man is forward. Salaki. Salaki. I had Proverbs 21:8. It's not clearly that's not what I want. But I'll read Proverbs 21:6. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgment. The way of man is froward and strange, but as for the people, his work is right, man, right. That's why it's better for that poor man to be in a mean cottage, working upon and tilling to what would benefit him, in his own space versus eating at the king's table, right? Dealing with that delicate fare in another man's house, as we brought out in Sirach 29:22, you know, because man is froward, man. He's strange, you know, and vanity. But those who dwell in the spirit, all right, is pure and their work is right. But yeah, this place is fraudulent, man. And ultimately they go reap what they sow, you know, when it comes to touching the apple of the Lord's eye, the system that we're in. All right. Haggai 1:6, man. We fill a bag with holes, right? Hey, this is not our rest. Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. So it's time for us to rise and depart from this place, man, spiritually. All right, because it's gonna consume you. All right, if you're running after gold, all right, running after riches, but just caught up in the system, man. But Shalom, Habatah, and DTA to the next one.